Welcome to Alternative Soundcheck. My name is Casey McCabe, and today we are headed to Los Angeles talking with Tom and Jimmy, the electronic duo that makes up Bob Moses. How are you?
Great, man. Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. You guys are in sunny Los Angeles. How long have you been there for now?
Well, better part of almost 4 or 5 years. It's hard to keep track of the pandemic. We've done a bit of back and forth, but since basically January 2020, we've locked down in LA and haven't really moved other than touring.
Yeah.
Does it feel like home yet? Do you think you're a native Los Angeles?
It's hard to say with all the travel, but it's a good home base. You know, our suitcases feel the most like home, so I think, we'll always be married to them first.
I think so, most likely. With being in LA and kind of the difference between Vancouver, is there a big difference in music scene? Going out either seeing bands or you guys recording? Is there a big difference that you notice?
100%. Like we always say this, we're super grateful to be from Vancouver, and the alternative radio there that we both grew up listening to had such a musical impact on us. And of course, it being the Pacific Northwest, grunge in the 90s was inescapable. And of course, moving down to LA, Vancouver, if the 1,000 cap venue, there's not much bigger than that. So it's either that or the arena. So getting the mid-tier bands like a Tame Impala or something really awesome, they wouldn't come through when we were kids growing up. So you either saw the just as they were starting or the biggest thing in the world. And so one of the amazing things about LA is that you can see pretty much every act will come through here. And so as writers, as producers, we get to go not only see these shows, but also sometimes we get to write with people when they come in town. So it's great.
And you're also surrounded by iconic venues in LA. I mean, have you been to, Troubadour, Viper Room, Whiskey? I mean, do you guys have a favorite spot that you guys really like to go to see a show?
Favorite is hard. All of the above we've been to.
The Greek's pretty good.
The Greek is probably my favorite venue in LA.
Mm-hmm.
The Hollywood Bowl is beautiful, but it's kind of unless you're right down front, it kind of is a bit too quiet for me. But yeah, the Greek we love.
Greek's like a mini. For those who don't know, Greek is like a mini Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
It's
like a third of the size or a bit less, but it's still outdoors and it's sort of a theater and it's in the park. It's beautiful and the sound's really great.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Okay, so we have some favorite venues. All right, just last one, food. Any restaurants that you must have in Los Angeles?
My favorite restaurant is probably one called Salazar. It's a taco Mexican place on the east side, and it used to be a mechanic shop, but they just kind of kept the outer facade and then built this really cool restaurant. It's outside under an awning, and they have amazing cocktails and amazing tacos, and that's probably one of my favorites. But there's so many, the food here is unbelievable. That's one of the best things about LA. You can get so many different types of cultures and really high level of all of it. So
I always recommend Bossa Nova. I don't know if you guys have done Bossa Nova yet.
No, we haven't.
There's one on Sunset.
Oh yeah,
we did. Yeah, we went actually with a friend. It's really good.
Good spot. Okay, now that we have Los Angeles covered in all the bases, congratulations on the new song, the album, the tour coming up. Super excited for everything you have going on. So let's kind of take it back, with Love Brand New. And it all started, you guys aren't far from where Coachella is in Palm Springs. So is this where it kind of was the birth of this song?
Really close. A few months before Coachella, we were playing the Palladium here in LA, and friends of ours from Sweden, John Martin and Michelle Zitron, who worked with the Swedish House Mafia, we ended up booking a studio session with them. And in the afternoon, we pretty much got the bulk of that idea done. And we had never met these guys before. It was literally walking to the room. We got there was no awkwardness or anything, and we just got right to writing this song. And then a couple months later, we ended up fleshing it out around the Coachella time.
So going in the studio, do you guys just know each other's body of work, and that's what makes it kind of so, I guess, comfortable working together?
I think, to be honest, it was just a personality thing. That was one of the first sort of writing sessions we'd ever done with other people. We were just curious to try it. We'd been asked a few times, and we were like, why not? And they're just super cool dudes, and they've done a lot of writing for other people. So they right away, John started playing this guitar riff, and Michelle just started screaming. Michelle has a really loud booming voice and just started screaming out melodies, and it just like broke any sort of tension and just sort of opened the floodgates. And like that really inspired both of us, and we just sort of started shooting ideas back and forth. And so I think it's really a personality thing.
And I love just the buildup. Your music, it just evokes so many emotions. I mean, when you listen to any of your music, which I think is a great thing. But I mean, just the buildup of the song, and then it just like slaps you in the face, and then the lyrics and everything. What is the process? How does that begin? Do you guys start with the melody? Do you start with the lyrics? Do you start with the sound?
It can be any of those options. This one, they sort of all came together. We just got really lucky. Like, it's like the kind of thing, you go to work every day, you put the antenna up and you hope something hits, and some days nothing hits, then other days stuff comes right away. And this was one of those good days. But, I think especially over the course of the pandemic, like Tom and I were really tapping into some of our influences, like bands who really did the electronic songwriting thing well, like Tears for Fears, Depeche Mode, Duran Duran, INXS. And so if you listen to the song, there's a lot of like funky guitar riffs and sort of like a Nine Inch Nails-y bass line. And it's sort of an amalgamation of all our influences, but then also the Bob Moses twist to it. So that's sort of how the record came to be.
Is this going to be sort of an introduction to what the rest of the record is also going to be? I mean, when you say all those influences like INXS and hearing Nine Inch Nails, I mean, that type of feel, I mean, will we hear more of that on the album?
Yeah, we tried to just make the best songs we could and really push the production. And I think there's a lot of, it's inspired by wanting to play live. So there was a lot of thought about like imagining what being in front of a big crowd again and trying to do some higher energy stuff. But because the pandemic sort of shut us in and made us face a bunch of fears around identity, and like when you're not those guys who go out every weekend and do shows, what are you left with? And we kind of realized that music's our life raft in that sense. So the music is the most upbeat and sort of positive sounding that we've made, but the lyrics it's contrasted with sort of some more somber introspective lyrics, which is typical of us. But so yeah, the record Love Brand New specifically has that sort of dark driving beat, but then that uplifted hopeful chorus, and that is very indicative of what the rest of the album sounds like, because that's kind of how we were feeling. We were scared of what the future may hold, but we knew we had to be hopeful, and so that really came across in the sound and the lyrics.
And when we break down Love Brand New, I mean, what is, everyone can have their own interpretation, but what is sort of the meaning behind it? What's the story?
It's super universal. It's like it's like you're falling in love and experiencing things as if they're for the first time and trying not to lose yourself in that feeling. And it's kind of just like during the pandemic, obviously it's like this idea of being young and wild and free and driving and having fun and falling in love was something that was like, limited for a lot of people. So I think, as the world is sort of like rebirthing and you're falling in love with all these things as if they're new and going out, it kind of has this feeling of not only is it about a relationship, but also kind of like this rising from the ashes, like a phoenix coming to life again,
Yeah, I mean, that's a great comparison because we're all waiting to get out more and do more things. And I feel like, the news constantly is it's hit or miss on that. Is it okay to go do stuff? Is it not? But now with you guys gearing up and having this song, what are you looking forward to getting out on the road? You guys have 25 dates set for this tour. What's in it for you guys on just getting out there again?
I mean, we haven't played with our band in ages now, and so we're just super excited to have new music out and to be able to go out and do some of these great venues and get on the bus and really put the best show together we can. I think that we're really excited. As a touring musician, you can get kind of bogged down in it, and sometimes you can start to think like, maybe touring can feel like a little bit of a burden sometimes if you have to do it so much. But one of the things we really realized when it was totally taken away from us is that we actually love it. And so I think that we're really excited to get back with our band and make a new show and take it out there on the road and share this music with everybody. That's what's really getting us excited at the moment.
For those who haven't been to a Bob Moses performance or show, what can you expect? It's like a full live band when you're there.
Yeah, I mean, we get this comment a lot. People listen to the records and they go like, "Oh, at home it sounds quite chill, but like live it's super energetic and intense and fun." And so I think it's like a really fun show. And the thing that's kind of, I guess, different about us is because we come from DJ culture, we like to mix songs together. So we sort of do these transitions in between songs that are like little moments in and of themselves that create energy. And so it's kind of had this like continuous set flow, like a DJ set, but perform like a band. And that's always, I think that's kind of a unique thing about what we do.
Yeah.
No, I think that's an awesome thing. We're looking forward to seeing you guys on tour. Are we going to have new cities lined up that you haven't been to yet? Are you looking forward to performing in certain parts of the country?
We've got a few. We've never been to Lawrence, Kansas, Tucson, Arizona. There's a we're going to Boulder for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, they always throw a few new ones at us,
Yeah, and you guys being on the road, how do you kind of, I guess, stay sane? I mean, you're out doing what you love, but what are you doing when you're not? Do you actually go and enjoy the sights if you go to new cities? Do you even have time?
We try to, yeah. I mean, we try to get a little routine going. Get some exercise. We always try to like sample the local stuff. So like try and go like to the cool food spot in town and go check something out that we can. Go to like see a cool venue if there's an iconic venue. Go see any sort of historical stuff. I mean, sometimes we get a lot of time or a day off in a city, and sometimes we're just passing through. So we really try and take advantage of what little chances we do get in certain cities. Even if it's somewhere there that we might not really know much about, or like there's no super iconic thing, we always try and go to like get the local vibe.
When you guys do hit the road and kind of I guess balance that with touring, do you also at the same time, are you working on new music at any given time when you're on the road?
Oh yeah, I mean, one time we got really lucky. Our bus broke down and we got Justin Bieber's studio bus.
Yeah.
And so there was a full studio in the back that I think like some of us, like I hardly slept. I was just like in the back making beats, and people were like, dude, it's 2 a.m, turn it down. But yeah, we like to work on music. We've gotten into the thing with like writing with people or like renting studios while we're in different places. So, it's a good balance between eating right, working out, playing shows, writing music.
Well, just real quick on that story, your tour bus broke down.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber's tour bus happens to be somewhere near.
The same company, I guess, that does our bus was handling his buses. And so his bus, I guess, was available. And they were like, just take this for a few days.
It was his chef's bus. So the front had like this crazy kitchen. And then the back just had a studio. So I think like on his tour, he has his bus that he rides in and sleeps in. And then when he pulls into whatever arena he's doing, he goes into this bus and his chef is cooking up some sweet food. And he's cooking up sweet music in the back,
Okay, to follow up that, what does your chef have? What's his bus?
Oh, you're looking at the chefs right here,
Yeah.
Cheerios and some milk,
Hey, the finest the road can offer. You too. Yeah. You guys got it down. No, I love that. You guys have been on tour. You've visited so many cities, festivals, and one big festival that a lot of them are being announced. But Coachella, and going back to like Coachella, do you have like a Coachella moment? I mean, it's just such a great festival in Indio, being there, with the sunset and the Ferris wheel and the bands and the tents. Do you guys have like your own moment? I mean, on top of performing, but just like being there?
I mean, it's a really special thing to do. And like last time they gave us like the golden hour slot on the outdoor theater stage, which was just like, that's a bucket list thing to do as a band. And it's pretty funny. Like we played Coachella twice now, and both times we sort of had these like technical issues about like 10 minutes before we gone on stage, which just like ups the ante as the band to be like, all right, guys, you got to throw and go. And we both come from like punk rock backgrounds. So like we thrive when the odds are stacked against us, we kind of like thrive in that environment. Luckily,
fight or flight,
Right.
Give it 110%. And like, I think both of our first weekend shows at Coachella's have like come away not only special because like the performance ended up being great, but because we both knew without anyone else knowing that like there was an extra thrown in difficulty for us,
You thrive off it. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and you also, pointed out too, I mean, with the punk rock, background as well, will we see a lot more of that on this third album?
I don't know if there's overtly punk rock, but I think like the punk rock, the sort of pop punk, Brit pop feel that we grew up in, you know, in our youth, like we were both in punk bands and heavy metal bands when we were like 13, 14, 15. I think that really comes through the most in the melodies, and also in the sense of like, although we have more electronics than a metal band per se, there's a lot of similarity between the low end and like the heaviness of the beats, and that sort of, and then like melodies on top, and that's sort of a similar feel from those influences. I think that's how it comes through. But yeah, we don't have any, we dispensed with all the punk rock beats on this record.
Well, we love that. I look forward to maybe at some point we'll just have a metal album.
Hey, we should.
Our drummer used to play in like a hardcore band, so we're just ready for that halftime, like chicken. It'll happen.
Yeah, rehearsals and warm-ups definitely get some metal going.
Yeah. We can see that for the next tour in 2023.
Yeah.
And real quick before we go, also just break down, you know, Love Brand New, the music video. For those who don't know, it was shot in a warehouse in Montreal, I want to say. How hot was it there? How warm was it?
Freezing. We had to actually have like pocket warmers and little jackets on in between takes. And we were really fortunate to work with this amazing director named Adrian Villagomez. Our initial concept for the video was to do like a classic band video, kind of like Queens of the Stone Age, Little Sister, or like Foo Fighters, The Pretender, just like band in a warehouse. And he was like, why don't we intersperse that with some scenes about what the song's about, like love, and how it's like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, your background, that love is a very universal thing. And so that's why you see like, you know, a couple falling in love for the first time with a car, or like a baby and the mom, or an older couple. It's like, he did a really good job of getting the message across of what the song's about, interspersed with our desire to like have a classic band video.
No, it looked great. I mean, I love just the motion of it, and seeing the band and seeing those scenes with you know, everyone falling in love and all that kind of stuff. So you guys did a great job, and you made it look like it was 90 degrees in there and you weren't cold at all.
Yeah, well, we started playing in Brooklyn in like illegal warehouse raves. That's kind of like where our roots are. So we really want to like showcase that, and this spot was super cool, but it was also freezing. Like, you know, you can see your breath. I don't know how they got rid of the breath in the shots, but
green screen. They used the green
screen.
There you go.
Magic's right here. Yeah.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time today. Love Brand New is the song. Your third album is coming out on March 4th. Everyone pick it up, and we can't wait to see you on tour in 2022, and just look forward to everything that Bob Moses has going on. Thank you so much for talking with Alternative Soundcheck.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you.